Bernstein. Let's go. We wait for our WBO heavyweight title, Holyfield and Bogomov. And here we see blue corner first from Kazakhstan, Talgat Dosanov.
Сегодня вечером во Дворце спорта «Мегаспорт» на потрясающем боксерском шоу,
Talgat Dosanov, 10-5, 4 knockouts from Kazakhstan, turned pro in 2001.
За звание чемпиона IBO, за звание чемпиона мира IBF и за звание чемпиона мира WBO. Локальный промоутер боксерского шоу — компания Юрий Федоров Sports Lab. Дамы и господа, представляем вам бой в тяжелом весе. Регламент поединка 6 раундов. И ваш рефери Евгений Горсков. В синий угол ринга приглашается представитель Казахстана. Это Талгат Досанов.
Руки пожали, боксируем внимательно, команды слушаем, выполняйте им их. Успеха обоим вам. Красный готов?
As we look at records here, again, Ismailov, 33 years old. Interesting, Al, the Russian referee,
Готов красный угол.
Instructions in Russian, these both Azerbaijan and Kazakhstan being former Soviet republics, they understood perfectly.
They did indeed. And presumably we'll follow all those instructions.
Oh, of course. I've seen your Cyrillic, man. You had some mean, but you write in Russian. I don't know about this speaking. Touch gloves, here we go. Both in black, wouldn't you know it. Dosanov, we'll put it this way, with less hair.
Yes, well put.
And here we see Ismailov trying to work behind the jab. Man, is he muscled, Al.
Yeah, he has a pretty good jab, and will want to use that punch as much as he can in this bout.
And now we see Dosanov trying to get off with the jab. Double jab from Ismailov. Now that hook to the body, so combination punching early. Each guy trying to get off first.
Ismailov at 33 believes that he can still make a move in the cruiserweight division, and so wins in fights like this, needless to say, mandatory for him to kind of keep his station, if you will, as somebody that's on the cusp of making something happen in that division.
Right. He's a short, muscular guy, and he's moving forward now. Ismailov on the right, and Dosanov on the right now. Eats a jab. Jab to the body. Ismailov, good exchange there. Ismailov now back on the jab. Trying to look to land that power punch behind it, but now single shots can tend to back up Dosanov.
So two boxers that really in many ways are mirror images of each other. They're the same height, same reach, same weapons that they use in the ring. Neither moves that much, though Dosanov is doing a little more moving, so it should make for a very entertaining match.
Right, and at 6 rounds, can't afford to start too slowly, and both of them keeping a good pace. There's that cleanup, that follow-up left hook, so Ismailov punching first a lot and last, so he caught Dosanov on the tail end well, but here comes Dosanov coming forward, and he's winging shots as well. That hook, not a lot on it. Hook right hand, so Dosanov abandons the jab. Now he probes to the body, but Ismailov walking him down. Inside, not really knowing what to do once he gets there, it seems.
Dosanov has a nice sneaky right hand, and part of it's going to be whether the hook for Ismailov can get over that right hand. There is the right by Dosanov.
Dosanov inviting Ismailov in and fighting off the ropes beautifully.
A little bravado here in round one.
Really starting to heat up here.
Yeah, it's a fun round.
And a tough one to score because
very difficult.
Both guys doing enough offensively. That's why I'm leaving the scoring to you, Al.
Oh, sure, leave it to me.
There's that right hand that backs off Dosanov. Dosanov comes back with a rapid-fire combination. And Ismailov trying to walk his man down and corner him, but again, got to get a little busier inside as we close out the first here in Moscow.
Çok qalırsan, çox qalma. İşləyirsən, hər şey yaxşıdır, çox qalma qardaş. Sağıvı da çox indi lazım deyil, özü bir görəsən. Qarından girirsən qaldır başa. Başa düşdün? Qarından girirsən qaldır başa.
Dosanov getting pinned against the ropes, but doing a pretty good job during parts of that first round in fighting off the ropes. And there he's beckoning Ismailov to get inside, and then lands a good counter left hook off the ropes.
Ayak değdi bıraktı, boştu o. Biraz boş.
Ringside in Russia, 6-round cruiserweight bout. Talgat Dosanov on the left, and on the right, Ali Ismailov from Baku, Azerbaijan. Very close first round, Al. How'd you have it?
You know, I very grudgingly gave it to Ismailov, and I say grudgingly because it was so close, and Dosanov had such a good second half of the round, but I thought Ismailov had done enough early.
Very, very close, and here we see action really heating up, so they picked up the pace even more coming out to start the second. Ismailov is on the left, both in black, and Dosanov now trying to stick a little bit, use the ring a little bit more.
Throughout this evening, we have several other cruiserweight matches still to come, and so it will be a recurring theme, but we have men who are big enough to punch hard, but small enough to punch often. And that's exactly what these two men are doing, and so it's an entertaining match.
That's a perfect description, and it's strange how, odd to me, Al, how this division slips through the cracks already, or historically, you're caught in the middle there, between the heavyweights and middleweights, so to speak.
And now it has so many fighters. Here we see two fighters who are really technically proficient, providing a really interesting fight.
And they can punch, huh?
And they can punch, and they're not at the upper echelon of this division. They'd like to be.
Dosanov, again, happy to lay on the ropes. At times using the ring, at times not punching. Now off the break punching. Referee warns him for that.
Ismailov's having a very good beginning to this round and just landed a really nice right hand. He's come out blazing in this round.
Dosanov caught that shot, now turns Ismailov, very mobile, and cracks with a combination.
Yeah, the counter-punching of Dosanov off the ropes has been very, very effective.
Now it's Dosanov making the play, pointing to his jab, or his jaw, saying, "You go first." Ismailov takes the bait and scores with 3 shots. Not a lot on him, but scoring blows. It's a real close fight. You're right, Al. Ismailov had a blazing start to this round, but Dosanov having his moments. It's hard to tell who the harder puncher is, but I would give it to the Azerbaijan.
Yeah, by a very narrow margin, but you're right. It's tough because both men are landing sharp punches, but not hurting the other man badly.
Hey, they can have great chins, right?
That, too, is a possibility. Ismailov is having a very, very good second round here and putting a capper on it.
Быстрее. Это, когда ты начинаешь с ним играться, он вообще ничего не может делать. На, возьми. Хорошо, Талгат.
The Dosanov right hand, sneaky, getting in, a chopping right hand that he got in during the course of that round. And then off the ropes, Dosanov has been fighting off the ropes quite a bit, and good body work by Ismailov, and that's the bravado that he's been showing. But Ismailov, that overhand right gets in. He had himself a pretty good round in the last round.
Guessing you would have a 2-zip?
I do, and of course round one is problematic because it was a very close round. Could have gone either way.
Oh, I wouldn't argue with that score. Scheduled for 6. Neither guy taking a lot of punishment, but a lot of clean shots have landed on both sides. Ali Ismailov from Azerbaijan on the right, and it's Talgat Dosanov from Kazakhstan. Dosanov 10-5, 10-5, 4 knockouts. And just on record alone, and you don't know quality of opposition, Ismailov 9-1-1, 7 KOs, so on record looks to be the heavier puncher. But in reality, it's pretty close. But he really does seem to get better leverage on his shots, Ismailov.
The only place where that's different is that little short right hand by Dosanov, but he's not able to get that punch in as much.
Wonder why.
Yeah, that's a fair question because, and I think part of it is he just doesn't throw it enough.
Yeah, and look,
because it's a nice, short, compact punch that's very accurate.
It is, and at times Ismailov coming in with that left low, looking to land that hook and then follow with that right, and he's doing it now. But that looked like an elbow, forearm shiver.
Yeah, two in a row.
They do play hockey here, Al.
In this very arena, yeah. The referee strangely uninterested in both those fouls.
Oh, now we see Ismailov beginning to unload, and Dosanov fighting back in a big way, and he drives the Azerbaijani back. So both guys full of fight here in the third. We're approaching the halfway mark of the scheduled 6-round cruiserweight fight here in Moscow, and it's a good one. Dosanov backing off now into his own corner. And eating a jab on the way in is Ismailov. So Ismailov trying to walk in without punching. Oh, and there out of nowhere, leaps into the left, and he's really got Dosanov hurt now. Dosanov not hanging on, saying bring it on, but he looks stunned, first by a left, later by a right.
Well, he's laughing, but this isn't funny for Dosanov.
He's taking shots right in front of us, major league shots from Ismailov. So Ismailov getting tons of free shots, and it's now Dosanov battling back. So he's got his legs under him again, Al. He looked hurt, didn't he?
Yeah, he's a character, Dosanov. I mean, that was some wild stuff.
Yeah.
Blood coming from the nose, as you said, of Dosanov, and he's, this has been a very rugged round for him, and he's getting himself to the point in this fight where he's going to need something dramatic to try and win it.
Absolutely. He's in a huge hole now, we would say halfway through. Solid round for Ismailov. So Ismailov taking his time now, closing out the third, and Talgat Dosanov on the left has a serious uphill climb.
Well, that's Ali Ismailov, who got creative in the last round in a kind of a not quite legal way, using his elbow, his forearm, and some other things. And we will have a look at it here as he moved on the inside. He gets inside. Well, these are nice combinations that he's landing. And there's kind of cuffing. And those were nice combinations, actually, that Ismailov threw. But in between some of that, there was also some illegal activity.
No doubt. I'll vouch for that, Al.
You're my witness.
Wow, look at the swelling on the nose of Ali Ismailov on right. You'll probably see it. I would go for that. It's a very big target, Al. We'll see if Talgat Dosanov will go up the middle on him a little bit more.
Ismailov using the jab. You know, Ismailov, to be a top cruiserweight, has some defensive liabilities, and Dosanov even has been able to, capitalize on a few of them. But that's the only thing, really, because he's a very aggressive fighter who fights this style of fighting very well. But he just needs to tighten up his defense a bit.
Besides dropping the hand, what do you see, Al?
Well, his hands are a little low, and when he's coming in, he's not moving his head very much. So those are things that
pretty key, yeah.
That can be worked on. And also, there you see the jab. Some of his defensive liabilities would be covered up if he used the jab more as he came in.
Real weapon.
Yeah,
just walk in punching. He's walking in, and he's been caught leaning a couple of times that way. Dosanov doesn't seem to have he doesn't really have tremendous power. And that's why I think Ismailov feels he could walk right through him.
4 knockouts and 10 wins for Dosanov. The left hook has been the punch that's hurt Dosanov the most. And the body work by Ismailov has been pretty good as well.
Been effective, yeah. It's strange. The Kazakh wants to get hit. He's got to come up with some clever counters if that's the case, because Ismailov able to tee off, get those free shots in. Now Dosanov back to the ropes again, and that's where he plants. Now he'll spin out, but not come up firing. There, a little baby combination, but 3 unanswered shots from Dosanov. Ismailov walking in, just like Al said, and not punching his way in. And getting tied up now after a couple of soft jabs.
Ismailov's one loss we mentioned to Vadim Tokarov, who you'll see on this broadcast, one of the top cruiserweights in the world, and he stopped in 9. But looking at Ismailov, that had to be a barn burner.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
Tokarov likes to stand in front of you and trade punches, and I'm sure Ismailov did not go quietly into the night.
Yeah, he's not a guy to go backwards. It's only closing out the fourth, Al, you have to question, again, how hard Ismailov hits or how great a shot perhaps Dosanov can take. could be a combination because he did hurt him in the third, it seemed, Dosanov, but you know, he doesn't look like he's in danger of being out of this fight. He's kept the rounds competitive, but it looks like he's lost every one.
Да? Так, поработай теперь сам.
Well, Talgat Dosanov is behind in the scoring, but ahead in the taunting department in this fight. He's done a lot of that, and unfortunately, he's done it at inopportune times during the course of this bout. Here he says, hit me, and so Ismailov obliges, and he keeps saying it. Hit me some more, and so Ismailov comes forward and punches. But, you know, obviously that's, I think, out of frustration for Dosanov.
Да, капа, да? Нормально все, да.
Уходим.
Bell starts the fifth round here of this six-round cruiserweight bout. Ali Ismailov on the left. Again, familiar pattern, trying to walk down Talgat Dosanov. Dosanov, really not a lot on his shots. He wants to counter off the ropes, and again, Ismailov with free shots.
You know, what was a competitive fight for the first two rounds, because Dosanov was landing a lot of those counter punches, has really become very one-sided.
Combinations now, give and take. So they exchange nicely inside, and here we see Ismailov starting to unload again. And Dosanov catches a breather, ties him up successfully, but it's not going to win this round for him. He's got to get a lot busier and perhaps get awfully lucky. He could be in a spot where you can't win because he doesn't seem to have the kind of single shot power, certainly, but who knows, he could catch Ismailov getting careless as he walks in once again and gets clocked with the left hand.
One of the things you could easily overlook in this bout is the body work by Ismailov, and I think that's contributed mightily to Dosanov not punching very much in these last few rounds.
It's taken something out of him.
And as if he needs another issue, Dosanov's having a hard time with keeping his trunks up.
I think he's getting a little weary. Not gassed, but a little weary. Ismailov, a lot of punching. I mean, he's outlanding this guy, as you said, after the first two competitive rounds. But here, another surge from Dosanov as he tries to pull himself into this round. It's Ismailov trying to push off and restart. Heavy sounding shots from Ismailov, and that hook connects to the ribs.
Ismailov, when he throws his left hook to the body, and this is true of many fighters, throws it in a much more compact and powerful way than when he throws it to the head. It's a little wider when he throws it to the head.
It does look a lot better, technically.
And that's true with a lot of fighters. They get better leverage when they throw it to the body, and it's more compact.
It's just more natural move, huh? Good observation. Ismailov really starting to gun. He just knows he's the stronger guy, Al.
You know, Dosanov, when he throws these combinations, can land. It's just that he's kind of parceling out his energy when he does it.
Yeah, and he can't discourage Ismailov. Ismailov does feel he can walk through him without getting hurt. Closing out the fifth, one round to go here in our first bout in Moscow.
Через ruh hamısı 2 dənə atak, 3 dənə atak. Uca da dayanmırsan. Başa düşdün Ali qardaşım?
Наля. Все, последний раунд. Али, аккуратненько, смотри. Все вроде выигрываешь, и все нормально. Не надо в драку устраивать вот эту концовку, не нужно.
Глубокий вдох. Опа. Красавчик, Талгат. Давай, последний раунд, Талгат. Соберись, братуха. Хорошо. Вот так, сам. Где-то первый номер работает. Да,
Не надо сильно ударить.
Ismailov probably a round away from perhaps pitching a shutout, a phrase that means nothing here in Europe, but does to the folks and to some people worldwide, but in America it means
Clarify
something.
it.
Yeah,
Come on, Al. I'll let you
it's a
clarify it.
baseball phrase.
In other words, he's winning every round.
Exactly.
Through 5, we hit the 6th and final round, and Ismailov, again, his fight's fallen into a pattern. And that's not a criticism, but Ismailov winning the fight, he's more effective, hard punches, he's the busier guy, and it's that simple.
And you know, if you're Ismailov and you're 33 years of age and your only loss is to a top cruiserweight, and you want to make your way through this division, you need to fight often and get wins like this and carve them out as often as you can.
Ismailov short with that jab, and just the evasiveness of Dosanov, buying him time and nothing else.
Now, Dosanov has been stopped in 3 of his last 4 fights. For Ismailov, who is trying to, as we say, make a statement about where he fits in the cruiserweight division, some may look at this and say, why are you not stopping Dosanov?
Absolutely, it's a valid question. So maybe a moral victory for Dosanov, but nothing else.
And not quite maybe what Ismailov would like in this bout, even though he's controlled every single round and will most assuredly win a decision.
Not a lot of clean punching now. That's a boxer's nose if I ever saw one. Ismailov. Dosanov with a little look away and then tags Ismailov with a chopping right hand. Tries that right again. It is a chopping motion. He doesn't get a lot of extension on his shots, Al.
And he's thrown so few of those right hands in the last 4 rounds. He landed that punch in the first couple of rounds relatively well, but has not in the last 4 rounds.
Trying the double hook, missing, getting tagged by a left hand from, and just pushed through the ropes. Will that be considered a knockdown?
There was a right hand there, but I don't know if apparently they're not concluding that right hand did the damage.
Yeah, it almost looked like a push. He rocked him back, it looked like with a left. And Dosanov propelled himself into the ropes partly and then fell through and seemed to be partially pushed, but not a good way to finish, Al.
Time running out on Dosanov, who would have needed a knockout surely to win.
Not going to happen as they wrestle in the neutral corner, waiting for the finish of this fight. There it is. You know, for a one-sided fight, it was entertaining, Al.
Well, it was, and you know, the fight really started to change around the middle of the 3rd round. We had some really good two-way action, and Dosanov was able to get a few things done in those rounds to make it competitive, but then Ismailov took control, and from that moment on, it was pretty one-sided. But the reason it was interesting is because a lot of activity by Ismailov, and there was at least enough punches coming back that made it an intriguing fight. Now this is where Talgat Dosanov ended up going through the ropes. He got hit with a hook. Now this is where he came in. Of course, he beckoned Ismailov closer, and yeah, it was a push. That right hand did miss, so the referee made an appropriate choice. Luckily, he didn't fall out of the ring
on us.
Well, that would have
most importantly, right?
I'm glad you have things in perspective. Your priorities are straight, Nick Charles.
Hey, it's a long night. I don't want to go on the injured reserve the first bout.
That's right. I'll be working alone.
Единогласным решением судей победу в этом поединке одержал
No question about that one. convincing win. Ali Ismailov moves to 10-1-1 with still 7 stoppages. 33 years old, he better be on the move, and as Al pointed out, only the one excusable loss, but it's time to get going in a talent stock division.